Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your May bonus reading. We're going to do a mega deck reading. This is a mega deck right here, and it is a combination of the Good Tarot, the Sacred Shaman Oracle, and also the Shaman's Dream Oracle. I just choose intuitively these cards, and it has been shuffled. If you don't believe that it's been shuffled, then I don't know what to tell you. Go watch someone else. I really don't care. So, again, I'm not going to spend 40 minutes shuffling on camera talking about, my ex or something like that, right? Like all the other readers do. So, there you go. But, Capricorn, let's see here what is going on for you. You have this Knight of Cups, so this could be love coming in for you. I do kind of feel, it's kind of interesting. You go Knight of Cups to the Spirit of the River, which is like movement towards adventure, towards this horseman, which says Herald of Change. And the horseman is kind of like going into the future. This would also be a horseman, the Knight of Cups. He's normally riding on a horse. And, in this deck, he's not. But I do feel that, number one, there could be like a Knight in Shining Armor coming in for you if you happen to be looking for love. If you don't want love, then I would say that this could just literally be an adventure that you're going on. Probably something that you just can't ignore anymore is what I would say. Like, sometimes I think we have a desire to create something or to move or travel or do something different in our life. And that's kind of what this looks like to me. This whole entire reading, it looks to me like you're maybe doing something that you've never done before. You have the Tower card. So the Tower, of course, can represent a tower moment. This is the Good Tarot, and it is meant to be read positively. But what I would say is I do feel like you have had tower moments. Maybe you're rebuilding your tower. Kind of the feeling I get here is that you're more like isolated. I feel like maybe you have been isolating yourself, or you are just feeling more isolated in general, because it's just like a very blue reading is what I would say. Like, look at all the blue color here. It's like all this is blue, except there's a little bit of green here, but it's like mostly this bluish color. So I kind of feel this, and for whatever reason, that's how it's popping into my head. So I feel like maybe you've been going through a healing with the Four of Swords here, or you've been going through some sort of recovery after some sort of tower moment. It could represent kind of something like you are, maybe you've been, you could be like you released a relationship is what I'm trying to spit out here. I also see that some of you maybe have some choices in like work or career or business, whatever it is that you do. And you've maybe been having a hard time picking like what you actually want to settle on. And it's weird that I have the word settle, because I kind of feel this is saying, it's not saying like don't settle, but I do feel like something that could be holding you back, for example, in work or business, is maybe you're having a hard time like picking something to do in work or business because you feel like, oh, I have to do this forever, if I pick this one direction. But I feel like this reading is kind of like saying your life is much more flexible than you realize. There are many paths and choices that you have. So if you need money, for example, just like get going on something, make it happen. And then if you have to change, you change, right? Let's see. With that Knight of Cups here, you have this Nine of Cups and the Five of Swords. Definitely feel like you had some sort of breakup or separation. I kind of do have this like vindication feeling popping into my head here as well. It feels like I'm being vindicated. So for those of you that have an ex, like this could be an ex coming back saying that you were right or something. I don't know, it popped into my head like that. For others, I feel like you could be taking the adventure and taking the risk of maybe getting into a new connection as far as love is concerned. Or, again, for some of you, this could just be an adventure that you're going on. And an adventure could be anything. You could be traveling, moving, literally adventure, or you could be learning about something new, going back to school, starting a business. Those are all, adventures that you could be starting. With that Tower card, you have the Hangman. You have the Hangman twice here, and, going across this row. And so the Hangman says you have all the answers. It says you know more than you probably think you do. His head is normally glowing. He's normally hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom. He put himself in hangman mode so that he could gain enlightenment. And, when I see a reading that has, hangman at the beginning and then hangman at the end, sometimes I feel it's saying like you are doubting your skills at this time, or you are doubting something that you know to be true, and you're preventing yourself from moving forward. I actually kind of feel like this is a good reading. And we're going to clarify it more and find out. But at the same time, I feel that overcoming those kind of like that self-doubt would be a good idea for you. With the Four of Swords, yes, you have the Six of Cups. I do not doubt that you are meant to move forward, not backwards, With that Four of Swords, again, if someone comes in with an apology, if someone comes in, begging for you back or whatever, I feel like too bad, so sad for them, right? So, I would be careful of the past, actually, with this energy, because I feel like you have healed. Even when we go this way, it says movement towards adventure, and then you have this vanishing mirror, which says ego sublimation on it. It's like you have, conquered the part of your ego that maybe needs the approval of another person. You've conquered the part of your ego that maybe needs another person, or whatever the case may be. And I kind of feel like this is saying don't go backwards. Next, you have this circle card. I'll show you over here. You can see that there are all these handprints, and they're kind of different colors, and they're all facing different directions. And I feel like you have a lot more opportunity than you realize. I also feel like you have a lot more skills at your disposal. Maybe I feel like you do realize your skills, but it's like maybe you're not thinking about like how to use your skills or how you could use your skills. I always say that we're kind of like in between two worlds right now. And I believe that it's like there are going to be things that we don't really think are valuable that could be much more valuable than they once were. Like I think a good example might be that in the future, we're going to see a lot more people making a living playing video games online, for example. We already see a lot of that, but I think we're just going to see more of it in the future. If you look at the astrology and things like that, it's like there's going to be more stuff going on online. Obviously, Pluto and Aquarius is all about technology, but also jobs are going to be going away. So there's going to be like no other option, for people to make money other than to have a YouTube channel or something like that. It's like you could make a value judgment about this, say it's good or bad, or you could take advantage of it like I do and actually make it work. So I kind of feel this is saying explore the different opportunities. Even this next card, it says Spirit of the River, movement towards adventure. Yes, I feel like anything you can do that is adventurous is going to make you very successful. Obviously, there's 900 cards in Mega Deck, or like a billion at least, right? And, what I would say is that there are a lot of cards that have to do with like flow, going towards adventure, all these things. And I feel that pretty much even when I just do regular readings using the regular decks, I always get stuff like this. So I feel there's a lot of opportunity for people to go on adventures right now. We seem to be in an adventurous time because we're entering into a new world. Again, I always stress to people, I don't think people realize how important Pluto and Aquarius is. When Pluto enters into Aquarius, it's officially leaving the Earth. When Pluto's in Capricorn, it's as close to Earth as it possibly can get. Pluto has an elliptical orbit, so it's like it comes very close and it goes very far out and comes back, right? But we'll all be dead next time this happens. So again, when it's leaving, it's basically leaving Earth at this point and going away from us. It's a major time of transition. So we're literally transforming the world right now. And your next card here says Perfect Storm. It says the courage to step into life. I feel like this is a good thing. It's like the perfect storm for you to create success, but you're going to have to take advantage of the energy. You're going to have to use these things, like new technologies, new opportunities, but it's like everything is lining up for you if you believe it. There's a crow here, or a raven, whatever it is, on this card. And, crows and ravens are like the smartest bird. They're actually smarter than dogs. Crows can think in multiple steps ahead. They can solve very complex puzzles, and dogs can't even do that. So it's like there are like two animals that can do that, humans and crows, that can have future thinking, basically, right? So I feel like there are like a lot, I literally feel this is talking about like the magic of crows. I feel like it's saying like there are some, talents, gifts, skills, and abilities, or tools, or things that you could use at your disposal that are going to make you very valuable, that are going to make you very successful. It's like I keep using AI as an example, but, throughout Pluto and Aquarius, there will be more things than just AI that are created that could make us very successful. So I always tell people dabble, become a dabbler, become a experimenter, try these things, mess around with them, and see what you resonate with, right? But I do feel like there's something that's requiring courage. We go to this Thunder card. This Thunder card is a card of abundance and success. It's also a card of kind of like running through something, and we'll talk about that in a minute. With the Circle card, you have the Knight of Cups. Are you kidding? Definitely love could be coming in for you. I would say it's someone who doesn't have much of an ego. It's also interesting to me that it's popping up in my head as a person who has an ego. I know that sounds like the reading is conflicting itself. I don't think so. I think that what it's saying is that you could be attracting a very confident person, right? And, I think that's just it. It's like maybe some people think that this person has an ego. Kind of gives me fire sign vibes. They're showing up as a water sign, but again, I read intuitively, and I'm really just more getting knight in shining armor, and again, it doesn't matter what you're attracted to, what gender. But I also just get that this person, it's like maybe they're super confident and all this other stuff. But, again, there's like a difference. I always say there's like a major difference between competent confidence and like narcissistic power. It's like those two things in a person, they look very similar. But a narcissist is just a liar that can't back it up. Someone with competent confidence, they can say something and they actually do it. So, there's a big difference. Pay attention to actions, not words. Maybe you've dealt with a narcissist in the past, and I'd be careful. But again, I feel like this new person is not. With the Spirit of the River, you have this star card. Yeah, certainly a flow coming in for you. I also feel like I'm getting the words reflection popping into my head with this card, which makes sense because you have that Vanishing Mirror card. But it's almost like you're trusting your vibrations more. It's almost like you're trusting the universe more. Maybe you send things out into the universe, and maybe you're trusting your intuition or like what the universe is saying to you through signs and symbols. I even think you might stop. Maybe you stop watching tarot because maybe you don't need it, right? Maybe you're just trusting yourself more. That's kind of a weird message, but that's what I'm getting there. With the Perfect Storm card, you have the Nine of Pentacles. It's the perfect storm for you to be very successful, for you to find a lot of abundance and to kind of find a lot of success. That card at the end, it says Feast of Plenty. That sounds nice. I feel like there's like plenty of opportunity coming in for you. It also says choices and their consequences, but it's almost as if you're choosing things that have more positive consequences and you're avoiding things that have negative consequences. Really like this reading. You have this Vanishing Mirror. It says ego sublimation. And, I feel like for some of you, it's like I don't think your ego is going anywhere. I actually have a big problem with spiritual people when they talk about ego and getting rid of the ego. If you didn't have an ego, you wouldn't survive, number one. We need an ego to survive, basically. Number two, you will be destroyed by people who have big egos, who are narcissists as well. So I think that there's no benefit in totally getting rid of your ego. I think conquering your ego and using it appropriately and learning about yourself is a good idea. But I don't know, every single spiritual teacher I've ever seen that's like, oh, you have to get rid of your ego, has like the biggest ego I've ever seen. So there you go. I think it's impossible. We're humans, we're meant to have an ego, plain and simple. But I feel like you're learning how to tame it, how to use it to your advantage. You're maybe getting rid of the bad parts, maybe getting rid of the bad things inside of you or whatever, and kind of like amplifying the good parts is really what I'm getting here. I also feel like you're more learning how to see this in other people as well. You have this Eight of Pentacles. I feel like saying finally. I feel like you're finally getting results for your labor. Eight of Pentacles can be hard work. He's normally the guy on the Eight of Pentacles. He's mastering his craft. He's trying to become good at something that he is practicing or doing. And I don't think you're just becoming good. I feel like you're becoming great at something in your life. And it's opening up these like opportunities going this way here. Didn't I say this to you recently? I feel like you're becoming like a Swiss Army knife here, Capricorn. It's like you're not just, it's like if you have a business, you're not just doing one thing. I feel like you're doing like one thing really well, right? But maybe you have other things that you offer in your business. And again, I don't want this to sound disconnected or like you're kind of like, offering too much in your business or anything. I feel like it's all related, but maybe you offer like different services or maybe you're offering more services. I'm getting that here. Same thing in business. It's like you could be becoming like more of a triple threat. Maybe you're updating your skills or like in career, right? Maybe you're getting like some sort of certification or something. That could be making you a triple threat. Same thing in any other area of your life. You could be like mastering your skills or learning, and that's leading to a lot more success. You have this Horseman card. It says Herald of Change. Again, if there is a person, I literally feel, again, this could be a person that's coming in for you. Could also be an Aquarius as well. Or it could be someone who's born close to Aquarius or a fire sign, like I said, but I feel like there could be a person. It's like when this person shows up, I feel like they change your life. If it's a person, if it's not a person, I feel this is like an opportunity, like a job, or it's like an opportunity to move. You have that adventure card right there. So you could be moving or something like that as well. I also get the sense that something could be happening very, very quickly for you that you don't like, that you kind of don't expect. And what's popping into my head is kind of weird. I used to live in Seattle, and when COVID happened, basically my mom was like, why don't you guys move home, because it was like crazy out here. And so literally that day my brother and I decided to move home, and it's kind of not like home with my parents, but we moved back to where I'm from. And but like I literally made that decision in a day, and my brother did too, and we weren't even thinking that we thought we were going to stay in Seattle. So, it's like I kind of have that story popping into my head here where it's like some of you, I'm not saying your mom's calling you, but there could be like an opportunity for a job or something, and maybe you just out of nowhere you decide to take it. And I have that feeling popping in this row, and you have this choices and their consequences card. I feel like the consequences of this are going to be positive if you're doing that. Yeah, look at this. With that vanishing mirror, you have this fool card. I feel like you're learning to tell the difference between someone who's foolish and someone who isn't. I have a million things popping into my head right now. For some of you, if you recently went through a breakup, like over the last year or so, I feel like you're seeing, it's like almost like you're breaking this person's spell. It's almost like they had a spell on you. I think there are maybe many experiences we have where we look at a person, we're like, what the hell was I thinking? But I feel like you look at this person now and you see them literally as a different person. So, I kind of feel like you're totally breaking free from that. I feel like you see them as a fool. And I feel like they are a fool as well. So, maybe this is a person who left you or whatever, did you dirty, who knows. For others, if there's a random opportunity, not only do I think you're over prepared for this opportunity because you have the hangman twice, plus the fool can sometimes represent over preparation, but I also feel like it's going to be very profitable for you. That could be like literally financially profitable, but it could also be like emotionally profitable, or could just increase some other form of abundance for you. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the King of Cups. If you're attracting a person, I feel like this person has more than enough to give. That's kind of what I'm getting here. I feel like they have a lot of energy. I feel like they're a giving person. It clearly could be a water sign, although it's weird that I don't feel water. I feel more, like I said, fire. I feel this person is very fiery. I would say that really, I think that probably, it could be a water sign. You have so much water, but I feel like it's like a fire sign with water, or, it could just be a fire sign who's very in touch with their emotions, or, something like that. But general reading, so it could be anything. Yeah, with this Horseman card, you have this Lovers. I'm telling you right now, if you're attracting this person into your life, they are going to change your life. But again, it doesn't have to be a person. If you truly don't want love, the Lovers can represent a choice. It was traditionally called like the crossroads or the choice, and it represents having a decision to make. And you have this next. You have this Feast of Plenty card. It says choices and their consequences. So I feel like there is a very abundant opportunity that is a choice for you that you are going to make in the very near future, probably this month of May. And again, I just think it's very abundant. And it kind of just seems to me like it comes out of nowhere. Like, I don't mean something totally unexpected. And again, it wasn't a surprise necessarily for me to move home, like that example I gave you. So I hope that makes sense. This doesn't feel like some sort of like, oh my God, I'm totally surprised. It just feels like, oh, I just didn't think I was actually going to do this type of energy. So again, don't be surprised. But I do feel like it kind of comes out of nowhere because, again, maybe you think you're going this way, but you end up going this way very quickly. And it could be in any area of your life. I'm not saying you have to move like I did. It could be anything. But it looks like a very abundant choice. Again, I think if you think back to it, you'll probably see how you were thinking about making this choice a lot with this Hangman card. So the Hangman is kind of like making a decision. You have this Thunder card as well. This is like a card of abundance, and you can see these bison that are running on it, and the bison are symbols of abundance and kind of like earth energy, but they also are known for running through storms. There's actually a story about the cow and the bison, or the cow and the buffalo, right? And it's like cows, when it starts raining, they run away from the storm. When the bison when there's a storm, they run through it to get to the other side. And when they get to the other side, the grass is all clean and growing because it just got rained on, and it's like they run through it and they get to greener pastures. The cows, they run away from the storm, so they're constantly in the storm. They're constantly running, and they never get through the storm, basically. And so I feel for a lot of you that you've been running through the storm, is what this is saying, and you're about to get to like this abundant time, this feast of plenty, as that card says. You're about to get to like very green grass. With the Feast of Plenty, you have the Six of Wands. There you go. I mean, like literally achievement, success, good things coming in for you. With the Hangman, you have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, it's time to get started. I mean, Nine of Wands, like defensive energy, the Wounded Warrior, but I feel like it's time for you to get moving on, something that you're thinking of working on. With the Thunder card, you have the King of Wands. What have I been saying this whole entire time, right? Fire sign. So again, they could be very watery, but I feel like it could be a fire sign if you're looking for love. if you're not looking for love, and even if you are, I kind of feel like you are just bossing up with that King of Wands. I feel like you're kind of, it's almost like you're becoming a force to be reckoned with here, Capricorn. So, really, I think this reading is trying to say, like, you've been through a lot of difficulties. And, I feel like it's like you're a force to be reckoned with now. So I think that everything is adding up. It's like all these difficult things you've been through are leading to something, like leading to you becoming very successful. We're going to pull 5 main themes. You have this escape card. I do get that feeling for you, and I have been. If you had a relationship, I get this feeling of someone running away from you. So maybe you're dealing with that, but I kind of feel like you're much stronger now, and you're probably moving forward. Next, you have this eccentricity card. Yeah, your life is going to be like no one else's. I keep telling people as well, with like Pluto and Aquarius, any eccentric, wild ideas that you have in like business or work or anything else, I would definitely, work on those ideas, those types of ideas, because they'll probably just lead to a lot more success. Next, you have this practicality card. Yeah, I would just start taking the practical steps to get started. I kind of feel like something is just going to work for you. Like if you're starting a new business or whatever, it's like things are going to fall into place. If something comes out of nowhere and your mom says move home, it's like things are just going to kind of snowball in that direction. You have this domination card. Again, I feel like you are dominating. I feel like you are kind of finding a lot of success, or will be finding a lot of success at this time. And, I kind of feel like you're on top at this time as well, Capricorn. Or you will be. You have this extremism card. I would be careful of this past person. Again, they could be coming in like yelling, screaming, blah, blah, blah. And finally, you have this health card. A lot of people have had this health card, so I just pay attention to your health. Again, I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but anything you can do to improve your health or to be more healthy would be a good idea. But this looks really good, Capricorn, so thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.